Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time zone, and welcome to Moral Compass 101. Happy New Year! It is my hope that you had a good crossover uh, to the new year. And I know that most of us have the New Year resolution, but studies have shown that 8 to 10% of people who make the resolutions of the new year are the ones who fulfills those resolutions. Study goes ahead to say that 23% quit their resolutions within the first week. Don't be a victim. While 64% quit within the first month. It's only 3% who hold their New Year resolution for an average of 4 months. So I would please urge you to honestly pursue your New Year resolution so that you shall have something to celebrate at the end of the year. And having said that, my heart goes out to the families who lost their loved ones during the wee hours of the new year. I think there were 40 or something like that in Class Montana, Switzerland, and also wishing them that survived that dreadful massacre a quick recovery. Having said that, I'll please invite you to subscribe to Moral Compass 101 so that we can garner knowledge together, and you comment so that we can interact, like and share to spread this knowledge that no man can have sufficient. Due to the long overdue promise of answering the question on our topic, human instrumentalization, today I'll be answering this intriguing question. And the question was, what is your enabling power for human instrumentalization in your life? So, in matters human instrumentalization, objectification, manipulation, brainwash, and indoctrination, my point of reference have always been the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. This goes hand in hand with a statement that is totally indisputable, that says that life doesn't exist in a vacuum. Hence, an objectifier or a manipulator takes advantage of your laxity and or internal turmoil to impose their external influence. This means that any vacuum that you have left in your life through laxity or your internal turmoil, gives the manipulator a chance to impact or to instill external influence over that vacuum. Your laxity and or internal turmoil is an attribute of two occurrences, namely self-suppression and self-repression. So, these two occurrences are our topic of the day. And the answer to our question, what is your enabling power of human instrumentalization in your life? So that question can only be answered through these two terminologies, self-suppression or self-repression. So let me start with self-suppression. Self-suppression is the conscious effort to ignore your thoughts and emotions, the conscious laxity and avoidance of using your brain. Uh, Contrary to some people who may have told you huna akili, which translates you don't have brain, the reality is, despite having brains, what they are trying to tell you, you don't use your brain. Having brain is factual, but using or putting them to effect or putting them to task is optional. That is what self-suppression is all about. It's a conscious decision or choice of not using your brain. You are suppressing your brains. So, the second terminology is self-repression. Self-repression is the unconscious blocking of your emotions and memories. In the occurrence of self-repression, the proverb once bitten twice shy is rendered futile. This is because your previous negative emotions and or repugnant memories are impotent, and once again you become prone to another act of manipulation. Let me explain this. When you unconsciously disregard, a human brain has three categories: the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the subconscious mind. And both conscious and unconscious minds, they are joined together, or they are bridged together through the subconscious mind. So what the subconscious mind does, it picks some stuff from the conscious mind, some other stuff from the unconscious mind, like your dreams and all those things, and operationalizes them in a day-to-day occurrences. So when you're unconscious about your previous negative emotions or dreadful experiences, you are prone to be manipulated, either the same way you were manipulated previously or in another way, because you have repressed your unconscious mind. Both self-repression and self-suppression creates a psychological vulnerability vacuum and are the leeway or the consent through which inferiority complex, brainwash, manipulation, indoctrination, and all manner of detrimental influence is evacuated. That through those two terminologies, conscious or unconscious, conscious, we have said it's self-suppression. Unconscious, we have said it's self-repression. Through those terminologies, through those occurrences, the manipulators, the brainwash, the indoctrination, and all manner of detrimental influence, external influence, is rendered to you. When you are under self-suppression and or self-repression, you become less adept to your internal locus control and hence subject yourself to accepting anything and everything from all quarters when under duress. Internal locus of control is the belief that you are in full control of your life, your decisions, your outcomes, either positive or negative. And you take responsibilities of both achievements and failures, and seeing yourself as an agency over your destiny. That is internal locus of control. And the opposite of that is the external locus of control, where manipulators come in and exert external influence over your life. Both self-repression and self-suppression creates an internal turmoil that impedes the nurturing and the harnessing of your inherent ability, capability, and capacity of critical thought processes. This is a negative coping mechanism that unwittingly makes or unknowingly makes you susceptible susceptible to manipulation, brainwash, indoctrination, and all sorts of external control, where hard-out mentality isn't an exception. That, both self-repression and self-suppression, they create an internal turmoil in your life that you cannot nurture your ability, your inherent ability, capability, or capacity of saying no or resisting external influence over your life. Hence, people have been manipulated that way, brainwashed that way. You know, people who are living at the hard out mentality, have either suppressed or repressed themselves. And then that is their consent towards that manipulation. Your ability, your capacity, and your capability are the prospects and the competence of your potential for prosperity. In closing, what will you keep? What will keep you off these two psychological detrimental occurrences of self-repression and self-suppression? What will keep you off from these two detrimental psychological occurrences of self-repression and self-suppression? This is what I'll answer in our next topic. But in the intervening time, please stay safe and continue enjoying the new year. Keep your resolutions, pursue them earnestly. Blessings and shalom.